What's up, everybody? Christian Ballard here, Ballard Sports Media. Does someone want to explain this to me? I can't figure this out. What is happening with the Big 12 right now? So, as we know, Oklahoma is like the only Big 12 team to really ever make it into the playoffs. A couple teams here or there have had their chances. Baylor had a chance in the Big 12 title game last year, but what is going on here? Here, look at these standings right quick. I know it's in black and white or whatever, filter effect or whatnot, but two, there are 12 teams. Only three are undefeated. Only three, and they've only played like two games each. Two games. First off, the Big 12 is not conference only this year. They have no divisions. Look at this. The top team. Okay, who is the best team in the Big 12 prior to this year? Going into it, who would you have picked to probably win the Big 12? Oklahoma or Texas? Most likely Texas. I know people are high on Texas, and with everything Oklahoma lost to the draft and all that. Oklahoma started off great, right? Win against Missouri State at home. Shut them out 48-0. Great. Congrats to you. You beat a cupcake team. Doesn't mean anything. You get into conference play. You lost to Kansas State again. They lost to them on the road last year. I can understand a road upset, whatever. Upsets happen on the road all the time. You see it happen quite a bit in the Big 12. Kansas State, you lose at home 38-35. Now, it's not a blowout. Okay, I'll give you that. It's not a blowout. Then you lose at Iowa State 37-30. Notice those two losses are close games. They can't figure out how to close a game out. I know it's 3 games, right? 1 and 2, whatever. Let's keep going. I'm sorry. I was reading conference wins. So overall, though, Oklahoma is 1 and 2. Kansas at the bottom 0 and 3. I'm not even going to get into Kansas. I'll give them a pass. They're terrible anyway. Baylor is 1 and 1 overall. Texas is 2 and 1. So they still have some hope to maybe win the Big 12. They could have just one loss, and maybe they can make the playoff. I don't know. Texas was supposed to be back like 2 years ago. They weren't. They beat UTEP 59-3. Okay. At Texas Tech, a rival, you win a shootout, high scoring, no defense whatsoever in this game, 63-56. Then you lose to TCU at home, 33-31. A close game. TCU, let's see what they're at. See. They are 1 and 1 with their loss being Iowa State 37-34. So I mean that TCU loss is not too bad, but here's the thing. Here's the point I'm trying to make right here. Oklahoma, again, a favorite for the Big 12, is already 1 and 2. Right? Texas, they still have some life in them. They're 2 and 1. Right? Texas Tech, no one really expects anything from them. Baylor's 1 and 1. Right? Now, you have quite a few teams that still have a chance to possibly win the Big 12 and possibly make the playoffs. Iowa State's at 24. They're 2 and 1. They could only have one loss and run the table. Oklahoma State's undefeated 3 and 0. That's the best you have right now is Oklahoma State. Looking at the standings, you got teams like West Virginia and TCU, right? Ranked way ahead of Texas and Oklahoma. Right? This is the point I'm trying to make, people. What is happening in the Big 12 right now? I mean, Texas is supposed to be back. Oklahoma, supposed to make the playoff again. They can't even do that now. They're 1 and 2. Already out the gate. Kansas at the bottom. No one cares really much about Kansas. They're 0 and 3. You know, TCU's 1-1, okay. But the teams, basically the teams that you would expect to be at the top, to be competitive, to run the table, I mean, it's looking down right now. The best team, honestly, right now is Oklahoma State, ranked at 10 in the top 25. Oklahoma's not even in there right now. Oklahoma's not ranked. When's the last time you saw that? It's been a few years, right? They might take a loss, being a top 10 team, being a top 5 team or whatever. They'll take a loss, they'll take a hit, fall to like 15 or 16, right? Fall down. They never drop out of the rankings. Baylor's unranked. They're 1-1. People are high on Dave Aranda and Baylor. TCU, I mean, the ACC. We talk so much about the ACC being a cupcake conference. We talk so much about Clemson doesn't play anybody. Their schedule's weak. Their schedule is trash. And here we are looking at this. Look at this. Hold on. I know it's in black and white. I'm not sure if you can read all that or not. But anyway, Clemson obviously the number 1 team. Okay, duh. You have Clemson, Miami, North Carolina, Virginia Tech, Notre Dame. 5 ACC teams are ranked. Only 3 Big 12 teams are ranked right now. Oh, but the Big 12 champion can get in the playoffs. Oklahoma, Texas, or Baylor, right? In the Big 12. In the ACC's, Clemson and everybody else. The ACC is the worst conference in football. I'm sorry, but this year, man, the Big 12 is dead. I mean, a couple of teams. I mean, Oklahoma State and Iowa State and Kansas State, right? I mean, you got Oklahoma State, the only undefeated Big 12 team right now. And that's a conference with Texas, Oklahoma, and Baylor, who have been ranked in recent years, who have had some success, who have made the Big 12 championship. Like, I just, someone tell me what the heck is going on. You're probably going to tell me that the Big 12 doesn't have defense and it's finally coming back to bite them in the butt. Yeah, you might be right. I don't know. Right? I'm not trying to necessarily throw the Big 12 under the... I'm just trying to figure out here what is going on. Right? Like, the Big 12 is basically now the weakest of the Power 5 conferences. That's saying quite a bit, because the Big 10... We haven't even gotten to the Big 10 of the Pac-12 yet. Big 12. Rest in peace to you. Because at some point, I guarantee you Iowa State's going to lose. Kansas State is going to lose again. Those 2 teams are going to lose again. Oklahoma State's going to fall from 10 at some point. They might win the next game and rise up in the rankings a little bit. I don't know. Something's happening with the Big 12 this year, man. And honestly, it's just, I mean, I feel sorry for them. Actually, I really don't, you know. But Oklahoma, you're done. Baylor, you're fixing to be done. Kansas, you're done. Texas Tech, TCU. First off, again, no defense in the Big 12 whatsoever. Only, like, we're basically down to maybe 3 or 4 out of 12 teams for the Big 12. Not that that's, you know, anything new or whatever, but it's not the teams you expect. You don't really expect, like, Iowa State or West Virginia or Kansas. You expect Texas, you expect Baylor, you expect Oklahoma. And you look at the standings, and those 3 teams, Texas, Baylor, and Oklahoma, are like 6th, 7th, and 8th out of 12. I just don't understand what's happening with the Big 10, the Big 12. Someone in the comments below, help me figure this out here. Oklahoma's done. Baylor, they'll lose again at some point, I'm sure. Texas, they got a lot of work to do. Don't even try to sell me on Oklahoma State right now. Just please don't. I'm sorry. Rest in peace, Big 12 2020.